As of January 2018, the world's doomsday clock is set to 2 minutes to midnight, the closest we've ever been to an apocalypse. Now, you've all heard of the rich and powerful owning luxurious underground bunkers that cost millions of dollars. But have you ever thought about what it would actually be like to live in one? It doesn't seem natural for humans to spend their entire existence underground. But if Earth really became uninhabitable and bunkers were our only chance, how long could the human race survive underground? And what would be the quality of life? Since the first humans have lived on Earth, caves and underground dwellings have provided the safety, security, and warmth needed to survive. But even then, we still needed to venture out into the world to source important nutrients. The most important benefit is the exposure to the atmosphere, which provides clean and oxygen-rich air that allows us to breathe. And at the very least, our diet requires a supply of vegetation, and most plants need regular sunlight to grow. Animals that are used as sources of meat are found in much greater quantities above ground. Water too is much easier to locate above ground than underneath it. Humans also need sunlight to naturally produce vitamin D. It's vital to allow our bodies to absorb calcium to develop strong bones, and deficiencies have also been linked to health conditions like heart disease, depression, and weight gain. Vitamin D is also thought to be important to the functionality of the immune system and can increase the risk of developing illnesses if not present in high enough levels. So the question is, can these resources be replicated underground? The simple answer to this question is yes, but it's not that easy. It's been estimated that during the typical lifetime of a human, they will eat about 35 tons or 70,000 pounds of food. Even if you are willing to survive solely on tinned foods for the rest of your life, this would require a huge amount of storage space. The other option for food production is the use of hydroponics, which is the method of growing plants without soil. This would depend on the size of the underground bunker, but it is feasible to grow the vegetables you need to live for an indefinite amount of time, as long as you have access to a constant source of power. If space is not an issue, then there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to sustain a farm in your subterranean dwelling. So if you planned well enough in advance, you could still have access to the diverse diet that you had above ground. Freshwater supplies can be found from underground rivers, lakes, or aquifers. This would just need some advanced planning to ensure a good supply was found before you began living underground. The same goes for the air supply. Ventilation systems can filter toxins from the air, but depending on how deep you'll be living, it can require complex setups. Your hydroponics garden can help with this, but it's unlikely that it would be able to do all of the work. You'd also need an efficient ventilation system just in case any unpleasant or toxic odors were released into the air. The issue of vitamin D can be overcome quite easily. Fish, cheese, and egg yolks are some examples of food that contain it, and these are already made into supplements for those that don't currently live in areas with enough sunlight, so they would do the same job if you lived underground. The reason why Earth was no longer inhabitable is crucial in determining whether it's possible to live underground. For example, the power supply is currently reliant on other people still being present above ground to generate it in the first place. Alternatively, it's possible to use geothermal heat to generate any electricity requirements you have, and this would be the best solution to becoming completely self-sufficient. Waste disposal is similarly important to the provision of supplies. For instance, humans produce 2 bathtubs worth of urine each year, and even if you were to purify this for reuse, there would be a large amount of material that would need to be disposed of. Otherwise, you could risk poisoning yourself. But if you were able to satisfy all of your physical requirements for living underground, the final hurdle would be the psychological effects. It's possible that the constant confinement underground could drive you insane due to the lack of space and sunlight. Isolation from other people is also harmful to the psyche, but this could be overcome by creating an underground community with others. Even if you did find solutions to this, there's nothing quite like the wide expanse available above ground. You would always feel restricted by your new environment, and without it, risk the onset of depression. This all means that if needed, there's no reason why you couldn't live underground for the rest of your life. In fact, future city expansions are already considering subterranean developments. That would mean residents would spend most of their lives below the surface. But in terms of living underground, the most important thing is that it requires a serious amount of planning. So if you do plan on living in an underground bunker, it might be worth stocking up early, just in case you need it. Thanks for watching! Let us know in the comments below if you would want to live in an underground bunker for the rest of your life. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell icon so you don't miss our newest episodes. See you next time!